Okay, let's see when it's ready. It appears to me that this thing is ready for the streaming. I don't see. There it is. We are ready then. Um, I think I need to look to add something to our logo there. If you've been following us, then you noticed that we did a small change as we are adding a badge for being one of the top favorite opera podcasts. But well, let's put that aside because today, let me see how to put it into words. Um, Out of the many duets out there, one of the most difficult ones ever written in the bel canto repertoire is Dio che mi vedi in core, as you can see on your screen from Anna Bolena indeed by Maestro Gaetano Donizetti. And there are a couple of things that I need to tell you before we just start watching this video. First thing is that of course, by far, my favorite rendition of this duet is the one in the voice of Maria Callas and Giulietta Simeonato. You will notice why. And of course, every time I listen to this duet, my point of comparison, the peak that any pair of singers need to reach is at least to have the something getting closer to what Callas and Simeonato achieved back in the 50s. Of course, that is not easy to do because we are speaking not only of two exceptional voices for the bel canto repertoire, the case of Callas and Simeonato, but also two interpreters who knew each other and who, in fact, for people who have read Callas' biography, know that she had a very good relationship with Giulietta Simeonato. People say that maybe not as friends, but more like, if not like a mother, at least something more than just friends. They also had a deep respect for each other. So of course that helps on stage. And when you have voices suited for the repertoire, and the two are great artists speaking of the interpretation, and besides that, they understand each other musically, you pretty much have something spectacular as it is the version of Callas and Simeonato. So that being our point of reference, we're taking a look at how the two recent singers, Selena Garanca and Anna Netrebko, do with this duet. Of course, you will notice that we are comparing two of the greatest idols of the past century with two of the greatest idols of recent opera. Of course, anybody who, who does it consciously know that the voice of Netrebko is not even close to one to Callas when she was at her peak, and of course Garancha will never be not even close to what Simeonato did. So provided that the two of their voices are smaller than Callas and Simeonato. Let's see how they do in artistry and in terms of understanding each other on a stage, which is super important. Also, sorry for this super long introduction. Um, Take into account that this is also a super long duet as we are watching it live together. Hopefully there will not be ads interrupting us. Of course, I'm not paying YouTube. So some ads may get in the way of this, so my apologies for that. Also remember that due to copyright reasons, this video may be banned partially or completely in some countries. And also I think that it is necessary to start by thanking people like the owner of this channel, Rinconchete, that of course you can see and you can find on the internet, and subscribe if you feel like it, because thanks to people like him, we have videos like this that are very interesting. Because as you are about to see, and I am just playing, uh, there it is. I'm just playing on it. Um, Here are the names: Anna Netrebko, Sanna Bolena, Delina Garanchas, Jane Seymour from the Opera of Vienna with the direction of Evelino Pino. And this is what I wanted to make you notice. He's one of the people, because there are several on the internet, but he's doing this. So thank you very much. He's adding at least the piano reduction. The orchestration would be, of course, absolutely out of place. It's impossible to put here the score for the whole orchestra, but the piano reduction helps us a lot because we are going to see the voice of the two of them while they are singing, and we will have the words, and that's why we will be able to gain a deeper understanding of it. I also mentioned that this is a super long duet. It's going to take around 16 minutes, so the overall video today will be around 25. Um, Not only because it is long and they have to sing and sing and sing, and because you will see the demands in drama, but also because this duet has many moments. Remember that Maestro Donizetti was an expert in building drama, and so we are going to see it. And because of this initial part is that many people also call it, instead of the Dio che mi vede in core, call it La Preghiera d'Anna, as she's begging God. And we have seen the entrance of Giovanna, this time in the voice of Bolena Garanca, or what you could see. Anna Netrebko is still in good vocal conditions. That has not been the case for the past recent years, but this year, 2011, which I read is the year of the recording, she's still in very good conditions. This is more of her repertoire than the heavy roles that she's been recently doing, like Lady Macbeth. Seymour? A me ritorni? Non mi obliasti tu? Sorgi, che veco? Tremi? A me tu recchi? Pur dirglielo io deggio. La sorte che vi persegue, altro non lascia tu, mezzo di scampo. I have to say that so far I am pretty satisfied with what I'm watching and listening. I think that the two of them have understood how the drama has to evolve. As you notice, even if they are singing, this is more closer to a dialogue. If not spoken, it still looks more like a dialogue. But I think they are doing very good in the phrasing and in the intention. It does not sound monotonous. It sounds believable. They are accentuating certain words, phrases, and syllables. Ve ne scongiura l'assicurata che l'amor d'Enrico ha destinata al trono. Costei la conosci, favella, ardire e leve, di consigliarmi una viltà. Of course, that note was marked in red because you realized that she didn't sing it that loud. It was transported by Netrebko. Perdona, ascolta. And I think Netrebko is being very smart because that's what she has to do with her voice. She doesn't need to add weight that she doesn't have in the top, in the center, in the bottom of her voice. She has to play it comfortably. That's because I keep so in mind the horrible sound that she has developed recently. Le neghi il re. Also, we have to say a word or two for the role of mezzo. Seymour is a very difficult role, in particular for this duet. She carries a good amount of the drama in here. Tu che ascolto! So, it was you. I am the traitor here. You are my rival. Because if you know the story, at the end, even though Seymour was supposed to be a friend of Anna, at the end, she's the woman that the king selected, and the reason why Anna is going to fall into a tremendous tragedy. Well, her Dio didn't really convince me. Well, of course, it is in red again because the owner of the channel realized that Seymour Garanca added a higher note and did something different to what is written there. Personally, I think that was unnecessary. This is something that I don't think really needed to be added. I think that there is enough drama and challenges here than just add a note that is not required and it's not going to add really anything to the drama. It's completely unnecessary, but well, she did it. Lusingata. Look at how the melody progresses here. Mio supplizio è questo amplesso, gemo e piango e dal mio pianto soffocato amor non è. I think Garancia is being a little cautious. You know, she knows this is going to drain a good amount of her stamina, so I think she's being a little careful in here. We are closing the final part of the duet. E rea soltanto che tal fiamma ci sente. Of course, that low note is not that easy, so Netrebko resolved it the best way she could. Nel mio duol furente cieca. Little mistake in the pitch of a note. In questo addio, l'amor mio. Oppure, looks like we are going to have something sung differently again. Little problem with the pitch of the note again. E non segno chiave poi tormi lasci in trono del delitto in biancorea la mia tende è un giusto Dio che per me perdona a primiero e questo amplesso. Sorry for my voiceover here, but I think there is something missing in the accentuation, the emphasis of some syllables. In the overall, I really think they did a good job here. You notice my comments and things. There are a couple of things that didn't work. Of course, remember that when you're singing live, there are not second cuts. It's not as comfortable when you're in a studio, and you can redo the thing 1,000 times until it sounds the way you like it. They presented the duet without, basically with no cuts, which is also something that we need to mention. The two of them were smart because they knew this would drain all their energies. It is usually the case. I recall a recording with John Sutherland. I don't remember the name of the mezzo, where everything was pretty much well done until they reached the final part when the two of them besides going a little slower in the tempo, of course, in agreement with the director, they also diminish the volume. And so when you are supposed to reach the part, instead of going that one, it really changed the mood, and the whole thing really didn't work. And I think this time this was done fairly well, much better than I thought. I insist. I think the two of them were very smart in using their own resources. I think they really studied the score and really did a much better job than I thought. Of course, I couldn't replace Callas and Simeonato's version with this one, but I would still consider listening to it once again. There are many others which I would never listen again. I think this one I